It's going to be a great week here on the network. We have a bunch of stuff to go on. We got press conferences tomorrow, I believe, right? Press conferences, practice availability. I don't know. The schedule is absolutely slammed, as are the show notes today. We got a loaded one for you. Make sure, again, you're hitting that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and rate, review, and all that good stuff firing off in the chat. Right before the show, kind of not necessarily started to kick off, but about an hour ago, it was announced that Brock Bowers and Amarius Mims were not on the team plane coming down here to Miami. It's really not Miami. It's really Fort Lauderdale. Only South Floridians, only South Floridians, the real South Floridians will know the difference. But we are in Fort Lauderdale, not technically Miami. It's about an hour drive, depending on the traffic. Man, you think Atlanta traffic is bad? You ought to come down here. This is some shit I ain't never seen. They just dedicate 2 lanes to the locals, and then just say to everybody else. Just big middle fingers up to the rest of the ongoing traffic on a 4-lane highway. Nonetheless, it was announced Brock Bowers, Amarius Mims, not on the team plane. And that was kind of as expected. If you've been listening to this network, if you've been listening to this channel, we've kind of been laying the groundwork for, hey, these 2 dudes are first-round draft picks, right? And I want to talk about these guys specifically to start off the show, because let's just assume, based off today's news, we've watched the last of Brock Bowers and Amarius Mims in a Georgia uniform. And I gotta tell you, I was on the verge. I mean, I wrote the show notes on the plane riding down here, and I was on the verge, okay, of just believing and being under the assumption that Brock Bowers was going to dress in this football game and just not play. That's what I was under the assumption. I was almost borderline coming on here today to tell you that was what I was thinking. I was on the verge of thinking that some bitch was just going to come out there, dress out, do the thing, wear the uni one more time, all right? Because that's who this dude is. That's who this dude's always been. I think if he were 100% healthy, I think that's the other thing we didn't do a good enough job of, because I didn't realize. I thought it was Fugazi. I thought you legitimately set him against Georgia Tech because you just didn't need him. Turns out he must have gotten banged up at some point, either during the Tennessee game or the lead up to Georgia Tech. That dude was not even close to healthy in the SEC championship game. And I think had he been 100% healthy, that dude's out there playing Saturday in this quote unquote meaningless bowl game, like the rest of these superstars that have NFL, aspirations and NFL thoughts still pending, right? Like some of these names we're going to talk about tonight that are playing in this football game. Okay, I think Brock Bowers would have been in that mix had this dude been, again, 100% healthy. And here's why, okay? Here's why I believe this. This dude is unlike any other football lover I've ever met, and as is his family, okay? And I don't know if I've told this story on air, because I've definitely told it to the people closest to me, because it was a very special moment and realization of who this individual was, and it was a byproduct of through osmosis of meeting his mother. Okay, I had an opportunity to meet Miss Bowers in Jacksonville, not this year, but last year. Okay, Brock Bowers' sophomore year. So hypothetically, would have had 2 more years. But we had an opportunity to meet, and we bumped into each other. It's been a pleasure, covering your son. Thank you so much for covering him the way that you do. All the pleasantries, all the good stuff. But we had the conversation of, hey, Miss Bowers, how have you liked the world's largest outdoor cocktail party? How have you enjoyed this setting? Because this is unlike probably anything you've ever seen. And she said, oh, my God, it's been so great. I can't wait to come back 2 more years. And I'm like, at this time, dude, we'd already known. Like, we're 14, 15 games into the Brock Bowers experience at the University of Georgia at this time, at this point of this conversation. And this person was under the assumption that her son was going to be playing 4 years of college football. We all knew the deal. What, probably maybe UAB 29 or 2020 or 2021. Maybe some people knew the deal finally against Georgia Tech in 2021. But it was very clear, very apparent, that dude was only going to be playing 3 years of college football well before this interaction with this individual. So I tell you that to tell you that this family of non-traditional football goers, this is Napa, California, folks. Ironically enough, I sat through security for 4.5 hours this morning at Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta. And a graduate of your law degree program at the University of Georgia was right in front of me for 3.5 hours. We got to chit-chatting. Turns out they're going to California right now. They're flying to Napa to go to wine country to enjoy his wife's 40th birthday party. All right. And here they are, right? Going to wine country where this dude's from. They know nothing. They knew nothing about like real high-level SEC football until they got here. That dude and that family thought they were going to be playing 4 years at the University of Georgia. That is beyond me. That is beyond me. So I think a lot of people, wondering or heard the news today, is like, well, no shit. Well, why did it take so long? Well, that's probably why it took so long, man. Because I don't think the machine, the robot that is Brock Bowers, even understands who he is on the echelon of football people. When it comes to the world of football, I don't think that dude knows where he's at in the echelon of things. Based off the way that not only that he works, the way that he has approached rehab in this process, redefining all previous timelines of this, high rope, tight ankle or tightrope surgery on this high ankle injuries. Okay. Kirby Smart's I'm not saying he's screwed, but he's in trouble now because every time in the future that someone has a tightrope surgery, he can't come to he can no longer come to the podium and say what he's always said about this. Well, the timelines are similar. Well, Lawson had this, Amarius had this, Cash Jones had this. We'll see, we'll get them back when when the timeline fits. They've all been on the timeline. For most people, for normal oxygen breathing humans, that timeline has been 6 to 8 weeks. For Brock Bowers, it was 26 days. Because there was a lot about the University of Georgia that's kind of been rewritten because of Brock Bowers, smallest of which is the timeline for recovery of the tightrope surgery. All right. So hats off to Brock Bowers and a tremendous career. What we assume to be, what we assume to be one that is wrapped up. That's a top 15 pick, top 10 pick. It all just depends on where he's going to go. I'll say it again. Not that I have to be first on this one. Okay. Because I don't have to be. But I like to do I told you so's every once in a while. I'm foreseeing it. Nostrabizis is telling you right now. Oh, we're cooking, by the way, boys. Boys and girls, we're 11 minutes in. I'm telling you right now, we are going to have a fire-ass show tonight. Hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, review. Nostrabizis is already seeing it right now. I can already see it. An NFL evaluator coming out here and doing the thing. Well, Bob, Brock Bowers only measured in at just over 6'4". He's only 225 pounds, man. Like he doesn't have this Kyle Pitts arm length. And look, man, you can't draft that guy that high. Look what Atlanta's managed to only do with Kyle Pitts. Stop it. Stop it. This is going to be a quote unquote smaller H tight end. This is not going to be Cole Kmet. Right? This is not going to be 6'8". It's not going to be Darnell Washington. We all know this. This is going to be a quote unquote undersized H-back tight end. All right. And he's going to get mislabeled and he's going to get all these little knocks of people trying to come at him for this. They're wrong. All right. They're going to be wrong. The lower body strength. I tried to go no AC up in here to avoid the fan. But we're going to put it up at about 72 because I just can't take it. I just can't take it. It's getting a little too musty for yours truly. I felt PTSD from the garage days. For those of you who are new on this channel, you're probably confused as hell right now. But that is what it is. All right. So Brock Bowers shouts out onto the NFL. Again, top 15, top 20 NFL draft selection, I would imagine, this coming up April? In April? I would imagine that's in April.